Unbreakable series, episode 5, and we're going to be talking about sales. Now the question is, were they working when the tenants moved in? Just gotta give them a clean lease of life.
Yeah.
So I want to hit the ground running. Deal! You got a deal! It's the sales celebration. Sales is probably the number one asset that I believe I have, the ability to sell. It's a big, long, deep, complicated field to specialize in. I believe I do though. So we're going to run through a few things that I think would help with people in their lives, and how sales is not just about business but also about life in general. So one of the biggest skills that I think I gained from my working career, which moves into my personal life, is the ability to sell. Sales is important, not just because you're selling a product or a service at work, but also in life. You learn how to negotiate with people, you learn how to understand people, you know how to get the most out of a conversation. You know, a lot of people don't always say exactly what they mean, and so you have to delve into it, you have to understand them better. As a salesperson, you have to be a bit of a chameleon. You have to be able to adapt to different people in different situations. And maybe you've got a client on the phone that's irrationally angry. That doesn't mean that you should reply in the same manner that if you're talking to someone that's extremely calm and intellectual. That you might be talking to somebody that has a very strong grasp on all of the facts. And so you can unleash all the information that you have on them. But if you do the same thing with somebody that didn't understand all of the facts and have an in-depth knowledge of the situation, then it's absolutely pointless going into details and to go into all the complexities of it all. So you have to know who you're talking to. You have to be a chameleon. You have to use your 2 ears and 1 mouth in equal proportion, which is something I tell all the guys that join in Patrick Henry's in the handbook. You know, use your ears and mouth in proportion. Listen twice as much as you talk. It's the first thing that I remember learning in sales, which is really good if you're having a breakdown in communication with your partner maybe, or if you're having an argument. If you can do this, it's really helpful, and that is to stop, to listen, to empathize, to explore, and then to resolve. So stop talking. None of that. Use your ears now. It's time to listen, explore, find out exactly what that person is trying to say. They may not even be saying it with the words they're using. You may be able to see it from their body language. You may be only getting a piece of the puzzle, and this is where the exploring comes in. You want to try and get more from it. You want to empathize. You want to let that person know that you're listening, that you care about what they're going through. So if somebody says, I just can't believe it, we've had this leak happening in the property, and then we've had the electrics go in the property, and then this is happening, and they're going on, and they're talking, you're stopping, you're listening, and then you're empathizing with them. It's like, I completely understand. This is a very rare situation, and to be completely honest with you, I haven't seen these many things pop up like this before, but we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to find out exactly how it's happening and why it's happening, and resolve the issue. But we're exploring. We're trying to resolve. Once we know we've got all the information, once we know exactly what that person's problem is, then we can resolve it. That's all part of sales. That's listening, exploring, empathizing, resolving the problem. And that's where the close comes in. And closing is very important. So I'm going to sit down with Greta and sit down with Maria and talk about closing. We're going to imagine if we were the landlord and we were hearing this story.
Fine.
What would you think?
Yeah, no.
I know.
But what? It's what it is.
No, it is what it is. I would be thinking, if I was the landlord, this is crazy coincidence time, or the electricians haven't done their job properly. Why the hell have they changed 25 light fittings and not 3 others, and those 3 others are not working now? But that's because they're different light fittings. These 3 light fittings are actually part of the kitchen, inside the kitchen unit.
Yeah.
Okay, different lights completely. They don't need to be fire regged. So they didn't touch those because they don't need to be fire regged. They're not part of the EICR certificate. They're just dead bulbs. They've died in between
26 and the 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the question is, were they working when the tenants moved in?
King Vincent.
like it?
He done a song called Wildback, back in 51, like Rockers 51. There used to be a teddy boy, rockabilly.
Oh yeah, I thought he used to be a teddy boy.
Back in the 80s.
Yeah.
The old Reefers. Done a song called Wildcat. I'm doing this for the people over the coffee shop.
Nice.
Yeah, they was making a cup of tea, so I thought I'd kick them.
I've still got your one out the back, mate.
Was it?
Yeah. I'll catch you later, mate.
I'm working on this at the moment.
So lockdown was particularly difficult for those in the beauty industry. And as you can imagine, having the doors shut of Radiance London for 4 months has meant we've really had to concentrate on the bottom line.
No, this man that Sahar messaged about that shut his number shop down in Chelsea, could we actually see if we could buy his client list, / maybe see if he's, I don't know for GDPR if we could actually have them, but if he could do like a marketing campaign or like an email to them for us, or maybe if they've got minutes outstanding they can transfer to here or something.
So
it's basically something to all these people have now not got a Sunbed shop and we could get them.
for GDP, I would have to buy his company to acquire
Maybe
his
do an email to
client list,
himself.
but he could do an email. How closed is it? Is it properly?
I don't know, all I know is literally what she said.
So we were approached by a gentleman who unfortunately had to close his tanning salon in Chelsea, and he was trying to sell us some of his products. Now unfortunately, we actually purchased our products directly from the supplier for cheaper than the price that he was hoping to achieve for his stock. Now this really is sales 101. You really have to know the value of the products that you're selling.
All right, so you met Terry now. Terry's a local, anyone in Clapham South, Clapham Balham, I think it's Wimbledon sometimes, will know him. He likes to draw on the walls, gets artwork up on them, and clearly he's gone through something that's caused him to have a mental breakdown of sorts, because you meet him some days and he's right as rain, just as you saw him earlier, and other days it's like talking to a monster. He can be quite aggressive and forceful, doesn't have his wits about him, probably because he is so drunk. But the saddest thing about Terry is he's actually a very good artist, and this is a picture of a lady that he keeps on drawing, very busty, full lips, these long legs, always with roses, always with a rainbow, strangely, and a glass of wine. And when he gets drunk, he talks about this lady about, they'll break your heart, women will break your heart, be careful, Tiger, women will break your heart. It's just sad to see someone that's broken down to that level.
So we're here now in SW18 at a property where the clients have asked us not to disclose the full address, which we're happy to comply with.
I mean, it'll be interesting. Let's call my builder and see how we're supposed to be getting in.
I swear.
Didn't.
No one knock.
No, just blocked it off. Good luck, Dan. This was a purpose-built maisonette, so it's got its own front door, split over a couple of levels. It was originally, I think, 2 bedrooms with a private garden. It had seen better days, maybe 2.5 bedrooms with a private garden. It probably hasn't changed since it had been built in the 1910s, maybe. But our job was to extend the property up into the loft, create a new living space with kitchen and a massive, massive roof terrace. Also reconfigure all of the original space, so we are standing in what was originally the living room, and this would have been another bedroom, access through the corridor down there, but now we've knocked this through, and this is now the main bedroom, master suite, with a dressing room and a bathroom behind it. It's going to be a very special place. I can't wait to bring you back when it's finished. It's going to be awesome. I thought coming here would be quite a useful place to talk about sales, because not many people associate building projects and home refurbishments with sales. When you meet a builder, you're not thinking particularly about him being a salesperson, and that's true to a great extent, but this is a great example because when we put our quotes in for this job, we weren't the cheapest quote. There were people more expensive than us, there were people cheaper than us, but we won the job in the end. And when I spoke to the owners of it, they thought that some of the builders weren't forthcoming with information, they didn't make them feel particularly comfortable maybe. Others weren't willing to break down their prices or whatever else it was. Whatever it was, we were able to sell our service better than the competition. It didn't just come down to money. Most of the time with sales, things don't come down to money. It comes down to what the person you're selling to feels like they're going to be getting from the transaction, how they feel about you as a person, what they think they're going to be getting from the overall picture.
So that's that, problem solved. We found a way to fit the glass balustrade onto the roof terrace of this property, and now it's off to the suppliers to try and work out the best price for our clients.
Okay, so when you all first joined, we all had the induction and we spoke about this is a sales job, but what a sales job actually means is it's service-based. We're providing a service, we're providing information, we're helping people. But sales has been around for a very, very long time. Sales has been around since the first products were invented to sell. And in the middle of the last century, a lot of these sales techniques were coined and these phrases were made. We've already gone through ABC, always be closing, so always close the situation that you're in so you can have a conclusion to the conversation, and it just saves you time and gets things wrapped up quicker and easier. But there are other techniques that can be used. A lot of them are pretty corny and they're old, and as with most old things, you have to adapt them into modern life. The first one is the takeaway close. So if you've been able to present something to someone, they like it, they really want it, but you're struggling to actually get them to put the money on the table and actually go ahead with the purchase, the takeaway close is quite effective. So you would essentially be somewhere along the lines of, well, actually, I know you really like this product, but actually somebody else has already reserved it, or I think somebody else is going to take it anyway, so I'm sorry, but no. So you say to someone, I'm really sorry, but that product's already been reserved. It's already been taken by somebody else. I don't think I can sell it to you. You can. I want the product. That's the response you're going to get. You're going to get someone putting their foot down 99% of the time, unless they're a particularly weaker sort of person, in which case another technique might be more useful. But they will then assert themselves. You're forcing the issue onto them. It's either you make a decision right now, or his product's getting taken away from you. All right? So that's the takeaway close. The puppy dog close is very similar to that. Have any of you borrowed an animal from someone before? No? Never borrowed an animal from someone before? So, I borrowed an animal from someone before. I don't like animals to keep in my house. I like animals, but I don't like keeping animals in my house. But let me tell you, after I kept this animal in my house for, I think it was 2 weeks. I think it was a rabbit it wasn't a hare, it would be a rabbit. But it's rabbit. And after the owner came back to pick up the rabbit, all I was hearing about for the next 2 weeks, month maybe, was, Daddy, I want a rabbit. Daddy, I want a rabbit. Can we have a rabbit? I want a rabbit. I want a rabbit. That's what a puppy dog close is. Same as when you go into a car showroom and they let you test drive a car. You get comfortable, you like it, you want it. Right, so that is the end of episode 5 of the Unbreakable series. Hope you enjoyed it. Talking about sales. From my perspective, sales is the most important skill that you can learn in business. It's going to help you with relationships. It's going to help you sell your products and services, and it's going to help your life become better. I guess the irony of sales is that you can sell things which are way beyond your reach to purchase. Like me, when I was first started out working in an estate agency, I could not afford the houses that I was selling. I was actually dreaming of living in the houses that I was selling and thinking, wow, maybe one day I could afford to live in that property. And now I do. And it didn't take that long either. And the same can be true for you. So maybe learning sales would be a good step towards achieving your goals.